Hello, hello, hello. So this will be a quick message. Was just thinking about some things randomly, and oftentimes you'll hear people refer to they want to be like David, be able to encourage themselves. And it does say that in the scripture how David was really going through some things and he had to encourage himself in the Lord. But sometimes, just sometimes, regardless of how upbeat, how positive, how put together you are, how happy you may be, it doesn't hurt to get some encouragement from another person. So last week, this happened for me about 3 times. And normally I would just kind of brush it off and bask in that moment. But I'm still actually feeling the remnants of those small gestures of encouragement. While it may not have meant a great deal to those sisters who did it, I need them to know here in this space, and I won't name their names, but they'll know when they hear the message that it's them. So one of the instances was I was getting my annual mammogram, and normally I just post and say, don't forget to go get your annual mammogram. But that particular day, for some reason in my head, I heard, ask the lady, can you take a picture of the machine? And she said, oh, sure, no problem. I said, I just want to post a message. So it was a message. It was a photo of me standing slightly in front of the mammogram machine. And then I posted a message, ladies, how important it is to get your mammogram because it could save your life. And I know people in my family, I know very close friends of mine who were able to have early detection, and they are still here as a result of it. So it's very important to me to share messages like that, but also just it's education, because sometimes we take a lot of things for granted that we may have access to. It is not the most comfortable visit to the doctor. However, it is necessary, and again, it can save lives. So long story short, I received a message that I was tagged in on Facebook from a young lady that said I inspired her to go and get her mammogram. But she also texted me directly, and we had some correspondence back and forth. And I was sharing with her that sometimes, I post a lot of content on various things, and I often wonder, does anybody care? Does anybody really read it? Am I helping anybody? And she encouraged me by saying, yes, many of the things that I post are inspirational, that they are helping others, and to not give up and to not stop sharing my posts or my stories or my content. So that made me feel a little bit reassured, because I have been feeling for quite some time that I put a lot of effort into some of the things that I share, and I just don't know if it's landing sometimes. And it's just like, am I doing this in vain? But it does help to know if I helped one woman, then I've done my job. Of course, would I like it to be many? Absolutely. But it starts with one. Now, the next instance, I asked a few women that I know who are, I kind of consider them like my big sisters in ministry. I asked them to pray for me regarding, some of you who follow me may have seen a post. I'm having some issues with my left arm, and I'm actually sitting in the parking lot now waiting to go inside for my OT appointment. And these ladies, of course, said they would pray for me. But you know how we often say, yes, I'm gonna pray for you, and sometimes we forget and we don't pray for the person, or we remember a few days later, or we just don't pray at all. These particular sisters, they left the setting that we were in together, as in they got in their cars and they were headed home, and they realized that they had not prayed with me. They called me to see if I was still at the location, and I said, yeah, I'm still here. They came back. I want you to understand what that means. They came back to pray for me. Now, if you don't believe that there is power in that moment in itself, that's how important they felt it was to pray for me, as in they turned their cars around and they came back to pray with and for me. The prayer that these big sisters ushered on my behalf gave me a breakthrough that I have been long overdue for, because there's been a lot going on in my world. And as everyone says, life is lifing. So I'm sure that it's no different in my world than it is in many others. But I didn't know how much I needed that prayer. And it wasn't just for the physical things that we carry. It was for the emotional, it was for the mental, it was for just the whole comfort of knowing somebody sees your pain, someone sees the weight you're carrying, someone knows that you're really going through and they care. So that was my second encounter with encouragement last week. And then the third one came with a conversation that I was having with someone that I highly respect, and I have for many years. She is just, I don't even know that I have words to describe her, but I admire her power, her strength. I admire how she ministers to other women. And I even admire her as a mom and as a wife. There are things that I can say that watching her over the years have impacted how maybe I approach some things, just because of how I've seen her handle some things in public. Because, we may think we're going to do things a certain way, but until you're in that situation, you really don't know what you're going to do. But having a blueprint or something to fall back on to say, oh, this is what it looked like, and I kind of like what I saw. So having that little bit of a guidance that she doesn't even know that she gives means the world to me. So in a conversation that we were having where I could really bear my truth about some things and know that I was in a safe space, she told me that she admired me, and that blew my mind, because I was like, how could she possibly admire little old me? I'm still trying to get it together, y'all. I just feel that she's so polished and respected and professional, yet powerful and impactful. So for her to say that about me, it encouraged me beyond words. And the one thing that she said to me was that I was a powerful woman of God. And at that moment, I said to her, I appreciate you saying that, because I wasn't feeling powerful. I wasn't feeling powerful in God at the moment. I was feeling pretty broke down. And to hear those words, it encouraged me. So those 3 instances last week encouraged me very much. So I am asking, it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take but a minute. It can be a text message. It can be a phone call. It can be a post you tag somebody in. It could be a card you send. But take the time to encourage a sister this week. Someone who comes on your mind, and you may not even know what they're going through, but you're thinking of them. Send that word of encouragement, because you have no idea how it could possibly turn things around for them at that particular moment. Again, when you see somebody, you don't know what they're going through. You have no idea. So it's so important for us to be kind. But here again, I'm asking you to be an encourager. So if you encourage somebody, I hope someone else will encourage you, and we can just keep on reciprocating and carrying this thing over and over again. Let us be encouragers and not tear each other down. Spend the time to tell someone how they've helped you, or how you admire them, or how you love them, or how you think that something they said or they did was great. Take the time, because the next moment is not promised to us. So don't live with regrets of, I should have said, I should have done, I should have acted. Take the time. So let me encourage you to do that for someone else, because I'm telling you, those 3 encounters last week for me were like medicine, and I'm still on a high from them. So encourage yourself, but take the moment to encourage someone else. Have a wonderful day. Until next time, keep shining.